I am done. I'm so done! Hello everyone, welcome back to another short EP review. And in this video, I'm going to review Searcher by Current Value. First things first, let's get straight into the point. Current Value, in my opinion, is the best drum and bass producer, period. When it comes to drum and bass music, is not one of the artists that introduced me to the genre, but it's the one artist that stick to me for a long period of time in my teenage years. Current Value had such a dark sound back in the days, a sound of drum and bass I wasn't aware it would ever exist, going into dark step and crossbreed elements, and I have found other artists on the genre that do a fantastic job, like Limewax, Panakia, Peter Curtin, and so many others. All of them are amazing. None of those artists, in my opinion, has perfected the sound as much as Current Value. Also known as Tim Eliot, he's one of those producers that goes back into the mid-90s. And what's amazing with this artist is that whatever he does, he will have so many phases where he will change his sound and go for something different. Current Value has released so many great works despite going into so many different genres of drum and bass. Whatever he touches, he just turns it into gold. No matter what's trendy at each period of time, Current Value just takes the sound and makes it its own and manages to be the best of it. In the past couple of years, Current Value has gone a bit away from his dark military style, from dark step and crossbreed music. Nowadays he's mostly known for making neurofunk music. Neurofunk is what's kind of trendy in the drum and bass genre nowadays, and in my opinion, Current Value still manages to make some great works and being one of the best in the neurofunk genre. Going back into 2016, his EP Nitro is actually one of my favorite works he has ever done. It's one of those moments where Tim Eliot saw some of his artistic progression, since some of his works are even presented in the drum and bass channel UKF Drum and Bass, which is possibly the biggest drum and bass channel on YouTube. People who might have been more familiar with some of the previous and darker stuff from Current Value might find some of his later works off-putting, but for me he still does a great job at what he does, so I don't have an issue if what he's releasing is good. His album Biocellulose is probably one of the weaker in his discography, but it's still a really solid project, and Deadly Toys is more of the same. 2018 though was not one of the best years for Current Value releases in my opinion. Tim Eliot's style and approach on neurofunk music seem to be kind of deja vu, and so releases like Consequences and City Syndrome EP appear to be just some decent moments in his discography, but nothing that special. But I was still anticipating for what he was going to release next, and now here is Searcher, and oh my god! This is one of the best releases Current Value he has done for a long time. The last time I was this amazed with a Current Value release was with Partition EP back in 2016. That's almost 3 years ago. Even though I like a lot of the works he has done up until this point, this is one of those moments where I'm like, yes, this is the Current Value I like. This is the one artist I loved his music for so many years. If you are aware of some of the previous stuff like the album Deadly Toys, you're going to get more of the same. The EP is released by Invisible Recordings and it has more of the same aesthetic. However, the thing is, this new EP has some of the best ideas Tim Eliot has released for a while. Taking the tracks individually is banger after banger after banger, with the only issue probably being that the songs are kind of short in length. All 4 tracks are only 4 minutes long, and in my opinion he could drag them more, let them be more fleshed out. But of course, for what they are, they're still amazing. DNA, the first track of the album, has a really nice intro, and then when the beat comes, it's just so infectious, it's so addictive, it's heavy, it's dynamic. The production once again on this EP is amazing. It sounds so well, it sounds so detailed, so crisp, and then it only comes to whether the sounds are that intriguing or that creative. Even though you can say that this song sounds a lot like That Smile, which which was one of the main singles from Deadly Toys, the previous album from Current Value. This one sounds like the idea and the whole presentation and the melody is far better and more fleshed out. Like the synth melody through the last portion of the beat is actually so amazing. Dun, 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 dun. All of those elements with some great drumming and some other good choices make it for an excellent song. Casual Look is another strong moment, with this one actually having the intro just for the beginning without having a middle interlude point where it happens with most of the songs in the genre. Because the structure on a drum and bass or neurofunk or whatever song in the genre, it's your usual thing, it's predictable. There's the intro part, there's a drop, and then it goes soft once again, and then there's another drop. For such a short track, I like that he structurally took a bit of a different direction and just gave more space for the hard parts to make their appearance, which is my only issue with the track Different Path, the next one, which in my opinion I would like the drop and the heavy parts to be more fleshed out and have a bigger song, but that's only because this is by far my favorite moment of the album, and this is going to be one of my favorite songs of the year. Different Path is such an amazing song. I love this so much. Not only is the intro so beautiful, it makes an 180 with the rest of the aggression of the song, but the approach of this song with the beat is different and it's so refreshing and well done. The first drop portion, instead of having your usual drum and bass beat, it's so slow and heavy and it sounds like a breakdown. But what's by far the best part about the song is the sounds themselves, especially those sort of industrial snare parts at the second portion of the beat. They sound amazing, and I was just so blown away when I first heard of them. This is the one, this is the one. I don't know how many times I've played this song ever since that moment. I was so blown away by this. And then the second drop comes, where it has your usual drum and bass beat, and it works fine. So there are two different moments with the beat, so this makes it for the most diverse song structurally. And then things end with the Impact VIP version, which in my opinion is possibly the weakest part of the EP, but it's still a great moment, and it also has my favorite intro in the EP. I like the melody to it, I like the way it's structured, but when it comes to the drop and the beat, I think it's the most uninteresting and the one that could use more sounds and be more imaginative. But for what it is, this is still a song that has a memorable moment, which is the intro. So we have 4 out of 4 here. Current Value made a comeback and I'm really glad for it. Tim Eliot has never ever disappointed me as an artist. He has done some works which are a bit weaker and underwhelming, but nothing that it's just like mediocre or bad or unlistenable. No matter what type of drum and bass sound he's going to take, he still releases amazing stuff. He still proves why he's one of the best in the game. Neurofunk was a direction I was kind of uncertain for how Current Value was going to progress within it, or how he's going to fit in the genre. But not only he fits well, he presents some of the best ideas in the genre. This EP over here is proof. If you are familiar with the recent material from Current Value, you do not need to miss this one out. In my opinion, it's one of the best jobs he has done in a very long time. Coming from a big Current Value fan who thought some of his later works were just decent, this is a great comeback. I'm gonna give this EP an 8+ out of 10. What's your opinion on this EP? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.